Greetings. This is Arvette McLean of Speak, The Universe Listens. As a very young person, I always felt that I carried the weight of the world on my shoulders, having to make grown-up decisions in order to survive a life marked with physical, sexual, and emotional abuse. While my face was smiling on the outside, on the inside, I always secretly cried and felt miserable. However, over the years, I learned some gems that helped to turn my life around. I now get to live the life of my dreams, filled with love, travel, and wonderment. And I am absolutely passionate about sharing what I have learned with you. If you want to live your best life, tune in each week as I, along with some amazing guests, share these life-changing gems with you. Inspired to be more, do more, have more. Welcome to today's episode of Speak the Universe Listens. Today's topic is the power of positive thinking. And our guest for today is Sandra Norman. And Sandra is actually works at Virginia Department of Transportation, VDOT, and she's the Civil Rights Director. But that's not who I think of when I think of Sandra, whom I call Sandy. She is actually my personal cheerleader.
Yes.
And truth be told, she just cheers for the world. She cheers for everyone who knows her. It's like they know her by whoop whoop.
Yes.
And if ever there was a positive person, it is Sandy Norman. So welcome to the show today.
Thank you.
Yes, and I asked you to come on the show as well today because of your positive disposition in everything that you do, and it just good things just follows her everywhere. And one of the things that she does a lot is she always call me with something that she implemented, like something that she may have heard from me and then she actually put it into place. And so I always get a big kick out of it. It makes me feel like really great when I hear these stories. And so you want to just pick one and kind of share something?
Sure. So over the years I've read the book, The Power of Positive Thinking. So that was a long time ago. And one of it says pretty much, you are what you think you are. And so I used to go around saying, I'm so broke. And technically, I was putting that energy on me, and I was literally broke. And so after reading that book and hearing Oprah talk about it, I changed and I said, I have money. I mean, I have all that I want, but I have money. And to that day, to this one, I've pretty much changed that. So then I meet you. And I meet this woman who just make me put those words back into play of how you can really put that power of positive thinking in everything you want to do. So for example, I'll go and jump to my trip to China. So the Great Wall of China, I could not go to China without climbing that wall. But I'm afraid of heights. And so you always say, picture where you want to get to. Picture yourself on top of, exclaiming that, I did it. And so the night before, I was just really nervous, and I had this silent cry, and I was like, nope. And so I started channeling you in the spirit, right? And I said, well, Arvette says, picture this, you can do this, you got this. And so that next day, I climbed the Great Wall of China. Do you hear me?
Yes.
I climbed the Great Wall of China, and you were right there. And so when I got to the top, I made this video, and I'm crying. I was like, I did it. And so it was that not putting that negative of that fear and just moving that away and channeling all that positive and all of that energy of I got this, I can do this, and I did it, right? And so that's what you have really done. I'll listen to you, and I'll go and I'll implement some of the things, and then when it works, I'll be like, yeah, she was right. And then sometimes I don't implement them all, and it'll be like, Arvette, I didn't do that part, but I did do this part. Yeah. So it's really about channeling that energy of being positive and already seeing yourself succeeding and being successful.
Right.
Yeah, and you do that a lot. Yeah.
So what I really like about that is that when you say I'm implementing, like a lot of times, like you say, like you read the book on the power of positive thinking, and it's like you get the concepts and you might do a little bit, but not really. And so, like, a lot of times people will say, like listening to me, they're like, I get it.
Right.
But there's no change in their life. But partly because they're not actually implementing.
That's right.
And so what I really love, like when you give me these little tidbits, like, okay, this is what I did and this is the result. Like, I feel so happy to hear those things because it's actually you're actually aware that I'm putting these things into place and I'm getting the result. And like when you start getting those results, that makes you do it more often.
Exactly. Yes. And I've even taken that when I read your book and dealing with difficult people. And I remember having a meeting and I knew this person was going to be, one, verbally combative, and two, I knew that she was going to just take my energy to another level. And I remember you saying, just shower, send out love to her, right? Send out love, before you go, you send out love to her. You surround her with love, right? So the next day I get ready and I go to the meeting, I prepare myself. And I do, I meditate and I send my love and love to her. That really worked. Got in the meeting, she was not combative at all. We reached a consensus. We, did some mediation and we compromised. But what I didn't do is send energy to the whole room. So therefore, the person that was in there that I didn't think was going to be difficult ended up being. And so I remember calling you. It was like, yeah, you didn't tell me to send the whole energy to the whole room, right? And so now I have to implement it to the whole room, even if I know people are going to be there or not. Yeah, so you really do have to put it in motion, put it in play. You have to practice it. And you may not become it overnight, but what you practice, you get better at, and what you implement, you get better at. And if you never implement it, and if you never put it into practice, you will never get that result of what you're doing to that positive energy and that positive thinking. Yeah.
Right. So that's really key, like the practice. And everybody knows that the book that changed my life was the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. And I remember reading the book and, some of the stuff I was like, oh, this is kind of cute, but, I didn't see how I could really put it into my life. But the more I read the book, the more I could see, okay, well, I can do this little piece. And I can do this little piece, and I can do this little piece. And one of the greatest pieces for me was to give a gift to everyone that you meet. Right. And so I made that a practice. That was like something that every person, I made it a practice to look them in their eye and to send them mental love. Just in my mind, I'm just thinking, loving thoughts towards them. I'm just pouring that out. And it was like an immediate response. As soon as I started doing that, people were immediately responding to that action. And so it almost, when you're doing it, can become addictive because you're like, oh, that's all I had to do.
That's right. Exactly. And I know you told the story of, I do like cheering. That was one of the things I did in high school. And you're right, I do this whoop whoop. And so I remember one of your races that we were trailing you, and we would get to a spot before you and make sure when you came around the corner, we would whoop whoop, send out that energy of love. You got this and that kind of thing. That's what's in the whoop whoop. And so we got to this one particular spot, and this gentleman had been so used to me. He was an older gentleman, and he had been so used to me doing the whoop whoop. Well, I didn't say it, and he ran by. He said, "Well, what about my whoop whoop?" And so I gave him that, and it just picked up his spirits. But in the back of my mind, I was like, but it really wasn't for you. But he enjoyed it as well.
Exactly.
And so you can not be selfish in your giving of that energy.
Exactly.
And if you just, as you just said, send it out to everyone in contact or in the voice of my woo woo, that I touch somebody else with it. So yeah, you never know.
Yeah, and not only that, it's like when you're giving it out, it's like you're just getting so much back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just that little bit, he made me smile.
Right.
He gave me back that, hey, I was depending on you, that I need you, that kind of thing. And so it just made me make sure when I saw him coming around the bend, I started with the woo woo. Yeah, it is really good.
Yeah, so I know, like, usually I'm the person that's in the race, so I'm the person that you guys are cheering for, but occasionally I'm the person that's doing the cheering, and I just get so much joy out of cheering other people on. And so a lot of times we thinking we're doing something for someone else, and maybe we don't even feel like we have the energy to give something, but it's like when you actually do make the effort to give, it comes back to you tenfold. Sometimes in that immediate moment. So.
And I think that's why we were really drawn to you when we were in the run group, because some of us couldn't even walk a mile or even a block at that matter. I suffer from asthma, and it was really difficult for me, but I remember you just sowing so much love in us and telling us we can do this and you got this, and in your own quiet special way we knew you were the giant of our success. And I remember that first half marathon that I did, and I was like, I ran the whole thing, right? And it was like because we had you, our leader, saying in our mind, you got this. We've trained for it, you prepared for it, and you just always emoted that love to us. So it's true what that energy can do. And you never know that smile, what someone is going through that day, and you just greet them with a wonderful smile, and just really will change their whole, atmosphere of their energy. It could bring their, they low can bring them up to a high point. Yeah. Yeah, so that powerful, positive, giving that positive energy from you and emoting that on someone else or some things. Sometimes it's not necessarily a person, but it could be a thing. And remember you told the story about the tree.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, and so for anybody who hadn't heard the story about the tree, so one of the things that I used to do is when I was in Barbados, there was this particular tree, and it was just like straggly. It was like on its last leg. And so I actually used to go to that tree every day, and I would just send it all of my love and energy. Right. And every day I would like count, because it was a pecan tree. And so I would count how many pecans were on the tree. And so every time I see like a new bud, I would just get so excited. And eventually the tree came back to life. And I was just like, wow, and just the power of directing your good energy onto something, it can bring things back to life. Yes,
absolutely. I definitely believe in that. And so it's always those little nuggets that and sometimes we get all of those nuggets and we don't apply them all the time, and then you think, but if I had, I probably would have a different result. So sometimes, it's the stubbornness in us. We're like, I don't feel like doing it. You just, I don't feel like being positive today.
Exactly.
And that's the human in us, because then we need that sunshine, and we need somebody else's energy to show up for us sometimes. It's like sunshine needs on cloudy days. You need some sunshine as well. Yeah. So it's been in my maturing life. When you put those things in practice, it really does pay off, because you get so much joy and fulfillment and giving of love and receiving of love. Yeah.
So tell us about this weekend when you did your 32-mile bike ride. Now, she didn't even train for this event at all. And not only that, I'm going to call her out because she usually is a beast in the gym and that type of thing, but she has not been working out. She's let the job take precedence. to getting her workout in. But she has not been working out. She did not train for the bike event. And then she just hopped on that bike and rode 32 miles.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
So, all of what she just said, I do not recommend that. But I got out there and I sowed a lot of positive thinking in that I can do this. And one of the things that you've taught me, and you always say, I tell my body what to do. And so when I got out there and I was like, I'm going to accomplish, I see myself coming back 32 miles, right? And so I get out there and I'm doing it. And the first 15 miles, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm on my way back. Easy breezy, right? But then this leg, my left leg, started to act like it wanted to cramp. And I kept saying, no, you said send it love. I kept saying, you are a beautiful leg. Leg, you are not hurting. This is, I just whatever positive I could say in that leg, because I'm a drama queen with pain. And I didn't want that to happen, and so I just kept, no, leg, you don't hurt. You actually are doing wonderful. And I kept saying all these beautiful things to this beautiful leg here. And guess what? I came in strong. I came in 32 miles. It was whoop, whoop. I was like, yes. Yeah. And I kept hearing you say, I tell my body what to do. And it listened. Yes. So, yeah, you can change the course of your outcome by how you think about it during the journey, right? So during that journey, it was like, okay, leg, be good to mommy. You're beautiful. Yes.
Yeah, and I think we kind of know these things because think about how many people talk to their cars. Like, if their cars start making a little sound, they're like, okay, baby, we can make it,
right.
Or you on E or below E.
Or walk, on W for on walk.
Right, and we'll talk to these things. And so, in some ways, shape, and fashion, we do know that we can send our love and energy to things and it'll work. But it's like we don't take it as seriously as it really is. Like, we really have the power to influence how things are working out in our lives.
We do. And so just imagine if you apply that into every aspect of your life, what the outcome would be for you. Exactly. And so I have to ask myself, so then if I can apply it on these other things, why not on some other things? And so I have to shift that way of thinking as well. And so, okay, you already know it works. Right? So why are you going to not do it here and you've done it there? Yeah, you're absolutely right. You just got to shift. And I think that's about growth and it's about maturing and understanding who you are and understanding how you really can change your outcome by changing your mindset. Yeah.
So we were just talking about angels.
Yeah. Yes. So I always tell her, I listen to her. And so she told me the story about your mom and how your mom loved angels. And I believe in angels. And so you told me the story about the angel of lost things. And so again, I'm a person. If it works for you, it can work for me. So let me do the application. And 3 times I've asked the angel of lost things to come through my rescue. And guess what? She came through just 2 days ago. 48 hours. It was a binder that I needed. I needed this binder and I needed it bad. I knew what it looked like. I knew the color tabs that I had, yellow, pink, and blue. I even asked my staff member, did I give you the binder? He was like, no, ma'am. We're looking and looking and looking. 48 hours come, and I am looking for this binder. We're tearing up the office. I have under my desk a box that I don't go into. I've been there. I don't even know what's in it. So there would be no logical reason for me to put that binder there. But I said, Angel of Lost Things, could you please help me find this white binder? I turn around. And lo and behold, I look under the desk, and there was the binder. But guess what? I could have asked her 48 hours
Exactly.
ago.
Exactly. That is so true. Yeah. So I actually, my husband just like about, I guess it would not even a whole week ago, had the situation where he had misplaced his cell phone, and he asked everybody under the sun, and then accused everyone under the sun for taking his phone, right? And we searched, we looked, and we looked, and we looked for this phone. We could not find this phone anywhere. And finally, I was like, listen, you're just going to have to contact the Angel of Lost Things. And so he did. He was like, Angel of Lost Things, help me find my phone. And then within about 30 seconds, he's like, ah! And then he remembered exactly where it was. And you're right, he could have did that, hours earlier.
Yes, yes. We find ourselves searching, right? Yeah.
And that's the same thing, I guess, with anything. And I guess that's the point you were making. Like, we have access to so much stuff. We just have to be willing to ask for it, tap into these things.
Yes.
As you say, change your thinking, do positive thinking. And it's out there for us. But we prefer, I don't know if we prefer, but we're in a pattern, habit
That's right.
of doing it the hard way, of searching, of, hitting our head against the wall and that type of thing to try to get the result that we want, when really there is another way.
There is another way. Yeah, and what you always say, we're connected to the universe of all that is. So why not?
Right, exactly.
Why not put something else different into play? Yes, yes.
So
I enjoyed it too. Me too.
Thank you for coming on.
You're quite welcome.
Thank you for all the joy that you send to me on a daily basis, and just being I really feel like you're my personal cheerleader, because you just uplift me. Just being in your presence is very uplifting.
Thank you,
so
and same here. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
this is loads of fun. Yes,
awesome.
Thank you.
So I hope you guys enjoy Sandra Norman today, and I really did enjoy her. So next week we'll have another exciting guest, and in the meantime, if you can check out my website at arvetmcclain.com. That's ARVAT McClain, MCCLAINE.com. Until next time, bye.